So today we'll be doing table completion. So this is what table completion is like. You have a table, you have columns, you have rows, and you have questions. Now, table completion question is one interesting question that it's easy to go about if you know the strategy. So the first thing, you read the instruction carefully and note the word limit. Now let's check the instruction. Complete the table below using no more than 3 words and or a number. One thing that you should always have in mind is the head of the table. Go through the title. It gives you a general overview of what the table is about.
Okay.
People interested in sharing the flat. So step 2 is look at the table and try to understand it using the given information. Pay attention to the word headings and the word in the same column as the gap to fill. They are indications of what the answer should be. Now let's go over. Let me show you what that means. All these column headers, pay attention to them, take note of them. Now, here you have name. It means everything under here is just names. So number 4, the answer here will be a name. This second column header here is job. Everything under here is going to be a job. Like here we have a parrot's job. That's what you have here. Pay attention to the column heading and the word in the same column as the gap to fill. They are indications of what the answer should be.
Okay.
So now we're going to pay attention to the word in the same column to get what our answer would be. So here you see 2 health conscious. This is not enough to know what the answer will be. You come here, you see older, quiet, funny, lazy. Now you see that our answer number 2 is going to be one of the attributes of Phil Parrot. In that description, they're talking about attributes of these people under special requirements. But when you see dash because of equipment, you don't really get what they're saying. So we'll go back to the next one because everything under special requirements will point you towards your answer. To pay less for gas and electricity. Somewhere to keep his dash. From what we've read here and here, we understand that these are the people's requests. And from what we read here, people interested in sharing the flat. We know that they're talking about certain group of people that are interested in sharing the flat. The next step is predict the type of word that best fits as answer based on the information in the table. This one is quite clear. So we already know the kind of word we were expecting here. Okay, yeah, we're expecting, number 1, we're expecting the job title, like it could be a school teacher, it could be class teacher, anything, but it's a teacher. Listen and fill the gap with the correct answer. So that's the tough part of it. All these parts are quite easy. So we'll be answering this question.
You will hear a conversation between 2 flatmates, Craig and Don, who are looking for a third person to share their flat. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hi, Craig. Been home long?
Yeah, quite a time.
Did anyone phone about renting the spare room?
Yeah, we've had 3 phone calls about it.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want to hear about them?
Sure.
Right. The first one was called Phil Parrot.
Uh-huh.
He's a teacher. He's just qualified and he teaches sports.
So number 1, what's your answer for number 1?
Sport.
I want you to spell the sport.
S-P-O-R-T.
Okay. Now I want to go back again. So when you listen, you don't just listen for the answer. You listen for if it's plural, singular, past tense, present tense, you listen for that.
The first one was called Phil Parrot.
Uh-huh.
He's a teacher. He's just qualified and he teaches sports.
So what did you hear?
Sports. That there was an S.
Sports. And there's an S. So please, let's continue.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not sure about him. He certainly sounded energetic, but he asked lots of questions about whether we smoked and what sort of food we cooked.
Yeah. I mean, we don't exactly live on pizza and chips and takeaways. Well, not quite, but...
But he might be a bit too health conscious to really fit in with the sort of life we lead.
This time I did not pause it immediately after the answer. Okay, so what did you write down?
Energetic.
Now let's continue.
Yeah, And he asked a lot of questions about the room. He said he needs a big room because he's got lots of sports equipment.
So what's number 3?
Big room.
Good.
Well, that's okay. The room's quite big, but I'm not so sure about him. What about the second one?
He was called David Spencer.
Spender?
No, Spencer. C-E-R. He works at Cooper Long.
What's your answer for number 4?
Spencer. S-P-E-N-C-E-R.
That's good. Let's continue.
You know, the big company on Broad Street. He said he was a lawyer.
Oh. I'd have thought in that case he'd be earning enough to rent his own place. I wonder why he wants to share a flat.
Well, he didn't say. He's quite a bit older than us. He did say he's just moved down here from the north of England. He seemed very quiet, actually. Maybe he wants to meet some new people. I got the impression he was a hard-working kind of person who doesn't go out all that much.
Right.
But he sounded okay.
So what's your answer for number 5?
Hardworking.
That's good.
Oh, one thing, though. He said he wouldn't be staying in the flat at the weekends, so he wants to pay reduced costs for gas and electricity, because he's only here 5 days out of 7.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. What do you think?
Well, I suppose it's fair, but it all sounds a bit complicated.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Anyway, there was a third person, Leo Norris.
Yes.
He's an engineer.
Oh, yeah?
And he's about our age.
Number 6 is what?
Engineer.
Right. What did he sound like?
Well, actually, he was really funny. I couldn't stop laughing when I was talking to him. He said he was very lazy and never got up until noon at weekends, and I said that wouldn't be a problem here.
No, certainly not.
But actually, I suspect he was joking when he said he was lazy. I think he lives life as it comes. He's certainly not competitive or stressed, but he likes cycling and things like that. He sounds like an outdoor type. Anyway.
So what's your answer for number 7?
Noon and weekend. Noon, then weekend.
Okay, now, noon and weekend, are they description of somebody? Remember this, your column header.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So we'll take it back, and I want you to listen attentively again.
Okay.
Actually, he was really funny. I couldn't stop laughing when I was talking to him. He said he was very lazy and never got up until noon at weekends, and I said that wouldn't be a problem here.
No, certainly not.
But actually, I suspect he was joking when he said he was lazy. I think he lives life as it comes. He's certainly not competitive or stressed.
What's your
Already
answer?
got the answer. Competitive, then stress.
But he likes cycling and things like that. He sounds like an outdoor type. Anyway, I thought he sounded as if he'd fit in. He wanted to check if there was somewhere safe for his bicycle. That's not a problem.
No, he can leave it in the garage with my car.
What's number 8?
Bicycle.
Okay, so
You will hear a woman telephoning for information about a festival. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
Good morning, Stretton Festival box office. How can I help you?
Oh, hello. My family and I are on holiday in the area, and we've seen some posters about the festival this week. Could you tell me about some of the events, please?
Of course.
First of all, are there still tickets available for the jazz band on Saturday?
There are, but only £15. The £12 seats have all been sold.
OK, and the venue is the school, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. The secondary school. Make sure you don't go to the primary school by mistake. And there's an additional performer who isn't mentioned on the posters. Carolyn Hart is going to play with the band.
Oh, I think I've heard her on the radio. Doesn't she play the oboe or flute or something?
Yes, the flute. She usually plays with symphony orchestras, and apparently this is her first time with a jazz band.
Well, I'd certainly like to hear her. Then the next thing I want to ask about is the duck races. I saw a poster beside a river. What are they exactly?
Well, you buy a yellow plastic duck, or as many as you like. They're £1 each. And you write your name on each one. There'll be several races, depending on the number of ducks taking part. And John Stevens, a champion swimmer who lives locally, is going to start the races. All the ducks will be launched into the river at the back of the cinema. Then they'll float along the river for 500 metres, as far as the railway bridge.
And are there any prizes?
Yes. The first duck in each race to arrive at the finishing line wins its owner free tickets for the concert on the last night of the festival.
You said you can buy a duck. I'm sure my children will both want one.
They're on sale at a stall in the market. You can't miss it. It's got an enormous sign showing a couple of ducks.
OK, I'll go there this afternoon. I remember walking past there yesterday. Now, could you tell me something about the flower show, please?
Well, admission is free, and the show is being held in Bythwaite Hall.
Sorry, how do you spell that?
B-Y-T-H-W-A-I-T-E. Bythwaite.
Is it easy to find? I'm not very familiar with the town yet.
Oh, you won't have any problem. It's right in the centre of Stretton. It's the only old building in the town, so it's easy to recognise.
I know it. I presume it's open all day.
Yes, but if you'd like to see the prizes being awarded for the best flowers, you'll need to be there at 5 o'clock. The prizes are being given by a famous actor, Kevin Shapless. He lives nearby and gets involved in a lot of community events.
Gosh, I've seen him on TV. I'll definitely go to the prize giving.
Right.